What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the Silent Hill F update. I don't normally do videos like this, but hey, Silent Hill has been a big thing for the channel. I always enjoy talking about it with you guys, and Silent Hill F is one of my favorite games of the year. I'm not lying. I'm not kidding around with that. Easily a top 10. Really enjoyed it. And the game has really, I feel like, changed because of this update. Now, full transparency here. I'm not here to lie to you. It's not like I played what this update actually is, not yet. I was so deep into Dispatch. When would I have had time to do this? But no, I want to read what this update actually does. It adds a new difficulty mode. It really changes some. I would say, well, core is maybe a little bit of a stretch, but I think it changes some things in Silent Hill F that might make it a more pleasurable experience on New Game Plus on a brand new game. You know, if you've never played it before, is this the best time to jump in? At least from reading the patch notes, it kind of is. It kind of is. So, okay, let's go over what did they actually do. Well, number one, lots of bug fixes. You can read that yourself, right? You don't need me to read you like 30 bug fixes on this video. So they added a new difficulty, which is just a casual difficulty setting, okay? So the casual action difficulty will be playable when starting a new game on the main menu or a New Game Plus save file. So you can do this on a New Game Plus, second, third, fourth time, of course, as you know, right? So you get kind of the full experience, full ending of Silent Hill F. You got to play it at least 3-4 times. Maybe you could just look it up, but you could also just play it that many. So you could do both, all right? And then they say for players on story action difficulty or higher, the casual action difficulty will be selectable upon reaching the game over screen multiple times. So kind of one of those situations where the game feels bad for you. I know we've all experienced, I've definitely experienced it. I'll speak for myself. Maybe you guys haven't been so unlucky. You know, you die over and over and over, and the game throws you a bone and says, hey, you want to lower the difficulty so you can actually make it by this part? This is what it would kind of do, right? So it seems like interesting, I guess, twist there is that it's not something that you can just select, right? If you're 4 hours in, this is not something that you're going to be able to like go to a menu screen and like literally, in some games, actually a lot of games do it, right? You can just change the difficulty on the snap of a finger and all of a sudden it's there. In this case, you have to die like a bunch of times and then the game will offer it to you and then you accept it and there you go. You kind of lowered your own difficulty, right? So that's the first part of it. Next up is they added an optional skip feature for select sections of New Game Plus. So upon completing the go through the door objective after solving the mural puzzle on New Game Plus, the game will display the option to skip. The game will resume at the scene where Hinako awakens at the corridor of the Dark Shrine for the second time with the proceed objective if skipped. Items from the skip sections will not be collected. So thankful to be here, grateful for a worthy foe, and clear skies do not unlock on a playthrough that uses the skip feature. The skip feature does not impact branching paths or endings, and they added motion blur options to the graphics menu. Let's look at these system changes, and then we'll kind of go over my opinion on all of this stuff. Hinako's stamina replenishes slightly faster. Unskippable combat encounters are reduced across multiple sections. That's a really big one. Fewer enemies are placed across multiple sections. Also a big one. Hinako's line when an enemy is defeated plays at a slightly later time. Hinako takes slightly less damage on the hard action difficulty. So this is kind of everything, right? It's not attached to New Game Plus. It's not attached to this new difficulty thing. This is just a general thing. So look, those middle ones are honestly like you shouldn't skip by reading those, right? Unskippable combat encounters are reduced across multiple sections, and fewer enemies are placed across multiple sections. I saw a couple of videos on Twitter where it really seems like it's the ending. You know, you play the game through. I don't want to spoil, major story moments, but the ending, let's say the last hour of the game, there is a lot of running, and there's a lot of times where the game will stop you, with its barriers that it likes to put up, and you have to take out groups of enemies. Now, for me, I did get actually a little, I won't lie to you. I overall didn't like hate the combat or anything. Like at times I thought it was actually pretty good. At times I feel like it was almost too much, and I actually felt it was too much in those moments. There were times, mainly the ending, and again, it's actually why I was really excited to see the Twitter videos I saw. There were times where it's like, I'm so engrossed. Like, it's such a strange and awesome game, and I just want to see where it's going next. And by that point, I've truly had enough. Really, if we're being honest, I kind of had enough of the combat. And the game forces you into multiple fights, and it's not big cinematic boss fight. I mean, you have those. It's not like they're not there, but it's mainly against, these enemies that you fought 100 times already, and they're blocked. There's areas that are just blocked that in order to get from A to B and B to C, which you need to do. You're running and you're going from zone to zone. You're going to need to face like a wave of enemies in order to do it. So I'm not saying all of them are gone, but I did see a video that like some of them were gone. And it's a mix, of both things. There's less enemies in certain areas, and there's less areas where you are forced to fight. Both those things combined makes a very happy person here. So no, I'm happy about that. I think that's a great one. And then in terms of the skip thing in general, I think that's big for kind of whoever wants it to be big. Does that make sense? Like, I know some people are going to be pretty like purists and like you don't skip at moments. And hey, I have a friend, okay, a very, very close friend that skips almost all cutscenes in single player games, and it disgusts me. Okay, but he's my best friend. But some people are just like that. Really, like some people, I don't understand it, but some people just do it. And I think for a thing like this, I don't know, if you want to do it, it's there now. It's not being forced on you. It took them a month and a half, to put it in there. So you can't say, like it was made for any specific way, say when the game first launched. If you want to use it, you use it. And, while it doesn't change or, it doesn't affect the branching paths or endings, right? So you can get your multiple endings, but the issue is in order to platinum the game or get all the achievements, whatever you want to say, you would need those 3 that you would lose if you do the skip. So I guess maybe it's just actually a way of making like a platinum run. If you've ever seen people, do platinum runs, maybe it makes that faster, because to beat the game 4 times, well, now 2 of those, like after you beat it the first time, right, you have 3 more. 2 of those 3 you can skip, and you can get those endings you need. You can get certain trophies you need, and okay, you're all good. And then just 1 of those last 3, you would need those 3 trophies that you would lose if you skip, right? So you would have to not skip 1 of those 3. So I almost feel like it's a best of both worlds, right? Like the game actually in certain ways forces you to not skip, even though technically it doesn't, it kind of does. So I feel like that one's a pretty good one overall. So really, I mean, the game has kind of changed. And now, again, this is transparency again, coming from somebody who hasn't played it with these updates. But, a new difficulty, I think, is warranted. I feel like people maybe would be certain people would be more willing to give it a shot now versus, when it first came out. Hey, you want it to be kind of less reliant on the combat and stuff. Well, now there's a difficulty mode that's the lowest it can go. You want to skip certain things. Now you can skip certain things, maybe making the replays a little bit more fluid. I would like to know, actually, the percentage of people. I've always wondered this because stats with games just in general, most people, and I do mean most, like over 50%, don't make it to the end of a single player game. Okay, that's the first time. So Silent Hill F is a game you have to play it more than once, or you look it up or whatever. But say you have to play it more than once. How many people beat it the first time? Say it's 42% of the overall players. Okay, well, of those 42%, how many people beat it the second time? How many people beat it the third time? How many people beat it the fourth time? Those numbers, I imagine, drop each time over and over and over. And it's not the end of the world because it's a very, very common thing. Literally every game under the sun has that. People just don't complete them for some reason. But not just Silent Hill. I'm saying literally any game. But maybe with the skip thing, maybe they find that percentage jumps by 5%, by 6%, but and if that's worth it, it's worth it, So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.